Stay there. Go on. Come on. Deal, Saku. Come on, bear. Let's go.
testing the mic. Is she any good or what? Had to make sure the mic was working. She's after taking a beating through various trips I've been on over the last little while. But as you can tell from the title of the video, today I'm out giving my version of the Show Your Stake Challenge. I was nominated by 13 Prevail Bushcraft, another fellow Newfoundlander. Troy's got a great channel. He does a lot of bushcrafting, shelter building, trapping, hunting, and now he's doing a cabin build, a great cabin he's got built in another part of Newfoundland, out near Bonavista, Vista, and it looks absolutely great. So you should go on over to Troy's channel. I'll put a link in the description below and check out his content story. So Troy, I'd like to thank you for the nomination again, man, and I'm here to fry up my steak. I've been absent from YouTube now for a little while. For those who don't know, I was on a 2.5 month expedition in Labrador, northern Quebec, by canoe with Saku, who's over the line down there now with Bear. So it's kind of hard to post videos when you don't even have cell reception, let alone a computer handy. I was far off the beaten path and disconnected from all civilization, other than some posts I put on my Facebook and Twitter page that let people track me along the way. So we're back now, and all is good. I'm excited for the upcoming weeks and months. I have a lot of exciting things happening on my channel. More importantly, for those of you who follow along, last year I was putting up videos every so often when I got the time, and I want to continue to do that again, so thanks for sticking around throughout the absence. What I'm working on now is a series. It's probably going to be at least 6 parts with episodes around 30 to 40 minutes long. That's as of now. That could change, but that's my rough estimate, and that's going to cover my 700-kilometer Newfoundland expedition I done with Saku last year. We crossed the wilderness of the island of Newfoundland by snowshoe walking and in an inflatable alpaca raft. So I'm going to have a series up on that. I wasn't initially going to put it on my YouTube channel, not because I didn't want to, but because I had interest from some production companies who wanted to potentially broadcast it somewhere. But long story short, things didn't work out. It wasn't going to be delivered in the way that I wanted it to be. So I decided to, I let it marinate with them for a little bit, and some different groups were looking at options. But that's done now, and the Newfoundland footage is going to be going on YouTube. So I hope you can stay tuned for that. And of course, on my most recent Labrador expedition, I also documented that. And for now, that footage is on the back burner. When I get around to uploading the Newfoundland stuff, then I'll think about what I'm going to do with that. But there'll also be some sort of documentary series there as well. So I'm going to get to frying up my steak, and I'll talk a little bit about the challenge. Everyone's had their say around YouTube. I haven't been watching a whole lot of YouTube lately, but I have seen there's been quite a few Show Your Stake Challenge videos. So, lots of people have had their say, and I did watch Troy's video, and he did a really good job. I recommend you go over and check his out on his channel, 13 Prevail Bushcraft. But, I'm going to have a chat based on my experiences, and more or less keep the stake challenge train going, because it's for a good cause, men's mental health. I do believe it was started by a YouTuber named Haze Outdoors. I haven't seen his original video, but he started this for men's mental health and to spread awareness. And once I get my steak all cooked up, I'll have a little chat about it. So the fire's crackling. It's time to take a look at my meat. And now that it's morning hour here, I'm going to add eggs too. So it's going to be the steak and eggs. And there might be another little treat in there too. So I'm just waiting for the fire to chill out there now. It's raging. And once that happens, I'm going to heat up my frying pan and get it nice and hot. Flip the steak on so I can sear it on both sides. Lock that juice and flavor in there. And then it's going to be down the belly. So I got hooked up a little while ago with some moose steaks. They're not my moose steaks. I don't have none. I didn't get a moose. But a friend of mine gave me half a dozen the other day. God love him. My good bud. And that's what's going on the pan. So here it is. I don't know if you can see it there. There we go. I had that marinating yesterday in some Worcester sauce and some salt, and yeah, I actually had these for supper last night too. Me and Heather had a couple for dinner, done up in a stir fry. So now I'm gonna have one on the fire for breakfast. Loves my moose. When the snow sizzles on that pan, we should be good. Good to go. That shouldn't take too long to cook. 3 or 4 minutes per side. They're gonna whack on some butter, give it a nice basting, and it'll be fit to eat. So I'm just rolling that steak around in the butter now, just to give it a nice coating. And that's gonna make it absolutely delicious. Little special camp spice. And the final special treat is a little bit of smoked Arctic Char, which I've never had before. Also given to me by my buddy. What a great guy he is. So I'll have a bit of that and give some to the dogs. That'll be their little treat. One applause. Oh my dear God, look at that. All right, time to give it a go. Wicket, wicket. Wicket, Jack. I don't eat moose steak too often. I usually have like sausages, ground beef, roasts. But to get these steaks is a welcome addition to the freezer. What's that? What is it? We got a Grey Jay visitor. Hey, come here. Hey. Come down. Hey. Saku, sit down. Saku, it's not for you, it's for the Grey Jay. Hey, buddy. Come here. I wonder if they like eggs. Come on, over here. Over here. Saku thinks it's for him. Oh, they're gone off. I think the dogs got him a little scared. Otherwise, they'd normally come right down. Take it straight out of your hand. The smoked char is delicious. Okay. A little piece for you. Nice. Beer. Coming at you. Good girl. That char is amazing. Arctic Char. Smoked. I've had lots of smoked salmon and trout, but never Arctic Char. Anyways, I'm going to relax and finish this meal. I'll catch you in a bit. Leave it, Saku. Meal's gone. Pan's all spick and span, cleaned up. I'm going to have a drop of coffee. A little cowboy coffee to be exact. This is a shelter, a little raised platform that I actually built last summer, and myself, Bear, Saku, and Heather, with a tarp overhead. We use that string still there. I took the tarp down before I left on my Labrador trip, but with the tarp overhead, we spent a night there right in the open in front of the fire. It was the first time Heather it's the first time Heather ever spent the night out in the open, and it was last spring. It wasn't too bad. She enjoyed it. So nice little shack here. I love coming back, having my fires. It's a nice spot. Now, Sack, that's enough of that for you. Hey. The vultures are coming in now. Should be good. Let that bubble for a second. Now to take it off and let the grounds settle to the bottom. Nice cup of joe then. So, let's hit this topic on the head here now. Men's mental health, you know, and I'm going to talk about it. And, I mean, I'm no expert at this. I'll tell you that right now. But, I think what Haze Outdoors has done to start this trend, this challenge, I guess, it's great. It's a great cause, and it's exactly what we men have to do. We have to talk about, you know, things that are going on inside this thing up here. This thing that sometimes races and spins and thoughts and ideas. You know, it's where mental health issues stem from, and it's about talking about what's going on, and it's not always that easy. You know, personally, throughout my life, I've never experienced, you know, any serious mental health conditions. So, for me to talk or speak on behalf of another person who has, I don't think that's correct or fair either. But, you know, I have had some anxiety. I've had some minor depression. I think we all go through these spurts where things aren't going the way you want them to, and it's natural. But, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder, you know, bipolar disorder, obsessive compulsive. I've had some, and I think to this day I have undiagnosed ADHD. I mean, you know, I have a hard time sitting still, relaxing sometimes. And the most I relax is when I come out here by the fire, and I think that's generally because, you know, I can move, I do things, I'm splitting wood, I'm hiking, I'm building things, canoeing, fishing, whatever it is, so I'm kept active, and it kind of helps me ease through my restlessness, I guess we'll call it. And, you know, so, but it's just generally about talking, and, you know, whatever you might be experiencing. You know, men always have this, we think it's macho, you know, we don't need to talk, or we don't want to talk, we don't want to make ourselves seem weak in front of other men by revealing what our issues might be, and or not even talking to other men, to other people in general. We just don't want to reveal ourselves as much as maybe women might want to. So find someone you feel comfortable speaking around, and talk to them, right? I'm always here. You know, you can drop me a message at any point in time. With my education background, I know high school students aren't, you know, men, but they're young men, they're young adults, and I've had instances over the last 4 or 5 years of teaching where I've been approached by young men, and they've had things they've wanted to talk about, and I made myself open, and they came to me in you know, after class hours, because they had things going on, and they didn't want to, you know, discuss this with their peers, with other males, because they didn't want to show any signs of weakness, or you know, that they had something going on, because people would judge them, maybe in an unsuitable way. But I think I can relate to this a little bit, and one of the questions that is most often asked to me when I go on these long expeditions. I'm on my own for a long period of time, no human contact, and you know, some people would find that mentally unsettling, and it's not so much a disorder. I put myself in those situations, but people ask, how do you handle it? How do you not go mentally insane? And you know, my number one response usually is, well, I have Saku with me, so he's someone to kind of latch onto and talk, you know, to at times, and he's, you know, a dog is human's best friend. They're a companion. But other than that, you know, I do have an active mind. I have active thoughts. I'm always have ideas. I'm kept busy out there. You know, I'm also trying to survive day in and day out, and you know, I think those things keep me stable. And it's also about, you know, if I go into a trip like this, I know I'm going way off the beaten path, away from civilization, far from help. The only thing I have is my inReach and a satellite phone with me. So if things go wrong, or I feel like I can't handle it no more, my only way out of there is, you know, by a helicopter or by a plane. So I have to be mentally strong and mentally tough. Again, it's something that you know, I put onto myself. But I often say I feel more relaxed and more at ease out here, or out here in the woods, but on those trips, because things are simplified. Life is simplified. It's not go, rush, the hectic lifestyle we're used to. You know, this day and age, I go out and my only real worries are trying to navigate my way through the bush, and you know, managing my food supply, and trying not to hurt myself or make sure Saku doesn't get hurt. But after that, everything else is out the window. So life is simplified. Actually, find it easier mentally out there. You know, and the mindset I take into it, which, you know, is easier said than done, and it can't really be applied to all mental health disorders, is I just try to think, you know, as much as possible about solutions, and you know, the positives, the opportunities, not the negative things, not the bad things that might happen to me, not, you know, the rocks ahead that I might slip and fall on while I'm dragging my canoe, or not the bear that might pop out of the bush on a portage. I don't think about that. I try to think positive, and you know, about the opportunities and solutions and good things, and you know, that can help too. But it's not, again, it's not that easy, and I don't, you know, I haven't experienced enough to know. But I know people who have, and you know, we all cope with it in different ways. So it's just about speaking and talking and opening up. And you know, I had a conversation with a buddy of mine, you know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and you know, I just haven't spoke to him in a while. And you know, he has a lot of things going on in his life. I have a lot of things going on in my life, and we're on the phone for, you know, I don't know if it was 15 minutes. And when we got off the phone, just before I said goodbye to him, he said, "That's the longest conversation I've had since high school on the phone." So, you know, we laughed, but we talked about a lot of important things, and that's important. Pick the phone up and call someone, you know, and let them, and don't be afraid to tell them how you're feeling. So that's what it's about, and I don't want to rant and roar here too long. My coffee's getting cold, but speak out. don't keep it in. It's the worst thing you can do. It builds up, builds up, builds up, and that's when things get bad. So whatever, you know, mental health issues you might be having as men, old men, middle-aged men, young men, let it be known. And I hope you'll get a lot of relief from that. So that's it for me here today. Up here at the fire pit. Steak was delicious. I want to thank Troy again from 13 Prevail Bushcraft for giving me the nomination. I don't really know who to nominate. I feel like most people have already been nominated. I'm a little bit late on the train here. Life's been hectic for me since I've been back. It's only been 3 or 4 weeks, but actually that's a lie, it's been longer than that. Almost a month and a half now since we got back from Labrador. But yeah, I don't really know who to nominate. I was thinking maybe the Bushcraft Warrior. He's another Newfoundlander. He doesn't spend too much time on YouTube, but I'm sure he'd like to get out and have a cook up and maybe discuss you know, his thoughts on the whole issue or the matter. And so I'll put his link below, Bushcraft Warrior, and go over and drop him a message on his page, or you know, whatever, and let him know. And I don't know if another Newfoundland and Labradorian YouTuber, he's from the Big Land Labrador, William Larkham Jr, the Big Land Trapper. I've been watching William's videos, I think they call him Billy up there, for a few years now, and I love his content. It's good, old-fashioned hunting, trapping and stuff that, you know, I haven't done as much in my life, especially the trapping stuff. And I love watching it through his eyes, and, you know, he got a bit of everything on there. But he got a great channel, and he's a very knowledgeable fella. So I'm going to nominate William. I don't know if he'll see this or not, but you should let him know, and I'll link him in the description below as well. But besides that, that's it for me and the pups. They're kind of out wandering around there now. I'll let them both off the leash, but they're not far. I can see them both. Stay tuned for my YouTube series, Crossing Newfoundland. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but name doesn't matter. It's just going to show how me and Saku fared as we traveled 68 days across Newfoundland in the summer and spring of 2017. I hope to get at least maybe an episode or 2 up before Christmas, but there's a lot of things on my plate right now. So if that doesn't happen, don't be shocked. Worst case scenario, it'll be starting fresh right at the beginning of January. So stay tuned for that. I'd like to release a video every week or 2 once they get rolling. And that's it. So if you enjoyed this video and the rest of my channel, thanks for coming back and sticking around. Please like and subscribe. And hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll know when my next video is up. So take care, and as always, we'll see you after.
Alright guys, time to go home.
There'll be rolling in the hay, there'll be whiskey in the day, the boys come roll. Safely reached the other side in New York City Fair, in spite of wind and rain and stormy weather. We all sat down and drank a glass and wished each other well. We said we'd all come back again together. There'll be dance and romance.
It's after cooling off. Winter setting in here in Newfoundland and Labrador.
There'll be whiskey in the day, the boys come roll. So we went to went out as far as California. I used to get some letters then, but that was long ago. They always spoke of Ireland and returning. There'll be dancing, romancing, and nevermore will roam. There'll be rolling in the hay, there'll be whiskey in the day, and the boys come rolling home.
Old Bearsky gets leashed for the way out, because sometimes she likes to extend the adventure a little bit longer.
I'm still scheming. He says he'll take me back again to rest my weary head, and I live him a legacy of dreaming. There'll be dancing, romance,